Good afternoon, folks. Triple Crown here, coming to you from Vancouver, British Columbia. It is a sunny Thursday afternoon. I'm very excited today. I'm excited because I had a conversation with Doug Friend today from Historical Board Gaming, and we have some announcements, or at least an announcement I think those who are interested in obtaining Global War 39 would want to know. And that is that the plan is hopefully in the next 4 to 6 weeks, it will be available on the HBG or Historical Board Gaming website. And the tentative plan is to make this a downloadable file for free. And well, why would it be free? Well, folks, we want to make sure this is one of the largest board games, that's ever been sort of released in the community with all the new units and new rules, as we want to get it right. And so at least the thought process now, we're going to release it to the community, and we are going to be listening for feedback and criticism and things you like and don't like or hate, and we will attempt to fix them and add a point in time in the near future, maybe a year away. Doug will be printing everything in a final copy and making it available for purchase. So that is the plan for now, folks, just to give you an update. So that is very exciting news. Thanks to the team and, Hilltop Pillbox, CB's Bill, Captain G, Gargantua, Hambone, and everybody who's playtested thus far. So, but I am going to be doing another playtest game. And why would I be doing that at this point? Well, and that is strictly because, actually, I'm going to point over here on the Pacific side of the map. And it's interesting. Hilltop's doing a playtest right now. You can go over to his channel and look at it. And he brought up a good point. And that is, is Japan limited in terms of what they can do as a strategy? Meaning, are they basically going to be, heading around the horn and doing the Calcutta Crush every game? And if they don't do that, they might not win. Or what are their options? Or what are their better options? And I don't even know if the original version, like the very first Global War 1939, had the United States industrial complexes starting as minors or majors, but in 7.2 they do start as majors. And we'll get into some other stuff over here, but I first want to talk about, over here on the European side of the map, we are very happy with strategy. And that's because Germany can do, a bunch of different things. Germany can do the typical Moscow crush and be headed towards Moscow, ground and pound as they get there. Or they can, spend a little bit more money helping out Italy in the Africa campaign. But that is a risk. How far is Germany and Italy going to be able to push into Russia if they do that? And also another strategy that I think, whether you've played G40 or you've played Global War 1939, is if Britain on turn one starts to spend too much of their resources in Africa, for example, like they're building a industrial complex, they're, in this game they're allowed to produce units at the factories in Canada and the Far East Command, Australia, South Africa. If they're continuing to do that and they ignore the homeland, is Sea Line on the table? And that, whether or not Sea Line is on the table is really dictated more by the British player than it is the German player. But, if the German player is hell-bent from turn one to, capture London, and the UK player builds everything they can back in London, that definitely makes it more of a sort of a toss-up. And if it does fall at that point, Germany and Italy have spent a lot of resources capturing London, and that likely means that England, might be captured, but that America is coming And Russia should be very strong at that point, and they should also be pushing towards towards Germany. So that is sort of the trade-off there. And, Hilltop had a very good point. In the original version, we remember, or at least Hilltop and Gargantua remember, days gone by, way back when Japan would do a massive landing in San Francisco, turn one, and totally hamper the United States' ability. So originally, when we designed the new rule set, we talked about implementing some things that were specific for America so that it would sort of deter. And, Hilltop and I talked about this, and one of the things we implemented for America was this transcontinental rail network. So an integrated rail network that you can't necessarily see because it's just part of North America or part of America. And what that allows America to do is to rail 4 ground units in any direction across North America. I think it's up to 4 spaces. Of course, now that I'm talking about it, I have no idea what it is. Transcontinental rail network. The U.S. can rail up to 4 Allied ground units, up to 4 spaces once per round, any direction within the homeland of the U.S. on territory the U.S. has controlled since the start of its term. So previously, if Japan was going to be landing here in San Francisco, America, unless they're going to be building fast movers over in the eastern seaboard, they're going to have a harder time reinforcing San Francisco. So we fixed that. And we also added another little nugget for America. And that is defending the homeland. If Japan has ground units occupying any territory on the North American continent, including Panama, the U.S. can purchase and place infantry on each U.S. controlled territory on North America that is worth at least 1 IPP. So that means, we'll sort of push this stuff out of the way, that, Japan lands in San Francisco. That means the U.S. is going to be placing an infantry in Southwest United States for $1, Western United States for $1, Mid-U.S. for $1, Pacific Northwest for $1, over here in Alaska for $1, in Panama for $1, and all of these other territories that are worth at least 1 IPP for $1. So that is a little bit of a sort of bonus or a deterrent for the Japanese. So there's that. And folks that have played 39 in the past know that Japan has a sneak attack that has to be used, and on the first round of combat that the person being attacked does not get to return fire. So if Japan is coming in, America has to be very careful. So I just want to preemptively say that, at least in my opinion, or talking with others who know a lot more about Axis and Allies or BBR or Global War 1939 than I do, is that if Japan wants to come over here and mess about early in the game in San Francisco, that it should be a path that they should choose, but they should also basically be bringing the farm. So if America, and similar to a sea lion on the other side of the board, that if America wants to do other things, turn 1 and turn 2 with their resources and spend them somewhere else, not defending San Francisco, and Japan is gearing up over here, building naval transports and keeping them within range, the U.S. player needs to be mindful of that and start building back here in San Francisco. And if Japan wants to come and do a landing, that at least America is going to have a chance to defend it, or at least take it back. So anyways, Hilltop suggestion, which has been supported by our playtesting group, is to change the industrial complexes the United States starts the game with down to miners to help facilitate or advocate for Japan, or making it a possibility for Japan to go and do a landing either on Western United States or in San Francisco by turn 3. So that is what I'm going to be playtesting, folks. And we'll see how it goes, you know, what happens when Japan does this. You know, is it worthwhile? You know, is going for Calcutta still the best strategy? Is China and the CCP and Russia, are they going to come down with the FEC and Australia right behind it? Or is it going to be the go-to move? So we'll see. That's what we want to play test and figure out. So stay tuned for the subsequent play test coming. This is sort of a prelude. Hilltop is doing something similar on his channel, but we want to get to the bottom of it. We want to know for sure, is the game broken? Do any amendments or adjustments need to happen? And so we will we'll stay tuned, folks, and we'll go from here.